and good day to everyone, or should I say, a good evening, due to the lateness that I am uploading this video. Now, today I want to show you something very interesting. It's perhaps unlike any other banknote you've seen. It's not one of those common fiat money notes, nor is it going to be a stock certificate. Instead, we're going to look at something very unique today. Something that was very common once in many Eastern Bloc countries, or countries that followed a socialist or a communist economies. As such, today, I am going to show you a Chinese, or at least a partial set of Chinese foreign exchange certificates, with the denominations ranging from 一角, 五角, 一元, 10 cents, 50 cents, and 1 yuan. Now, to begin with, I want to explain what the purpose of these certificates were. Now, to begin with, these certificates were made due to the unconvertibility of the Chinese yuan, which was the renminbi. It was unconvertible because the Chinese did not allow the RMB to float, hence it was determined by the government. And when they actually allowed foreign trade to go into China, around 1978, a series of foreign currencies began to come in, and the Chinese wanted to control this. They wanted to prevent the inflow of foreign currency into China, because the Chinese people would then know how worthless their RMB is. So they made these certificates for the purpose of keeping all the hard cash that the Chinese government would have needed. Hong Kong dollars, US dollars, pounds, anything like that. Hard currencies, essentially speaking. So, if I remember correctly, the predetermined rate was, I think, $1 US for 5.3 renminbi. Well, at the very least, foreign exchange renminbi. The real rate was 8.3 yuan to $1 US, I believe so. Now, all these notes come from the year 1979, and yeah, that's about it. I should perhaps begin to show them to you now. To begin with, let's look at the lowest denomination there is, which is the Etl Note, the 10 cents note. Now, see here, there's a waterfall. In the middle, it says 中国银行. Yep. And the Chinese letters here state that it's a foreign exchange certificate. Now, if you look here of the motif, there's actually a peacock over here. Peacock? Yes. And this is the serial number. Odd thing is, they decided, and this was very unconventional of most banknotes, to put in the decimal place in here. So there's actually a dot here, which is a little unorthodox considering most banknotes at the time weren't like that. It was a 10-cent note, they just put 10 cents, done. Now, at the back here is a message. Now, I shall put this to here. It also comes in Chinese as well. Now, bear in mind that at the back of every note of the foreign exchange certificate that I am going to show you, they all contain this message. The yuan expressed in the certificate is equivalent in value to the renminbi yuan. The certificate can only be used within China at designated places. No request to register its loss will be accepted by the bank. Next. Now, that is the 10-cent note. Thank you. Now, we shall look at the 50-cent note, or 五角. Now, as we can see here, it is of a purple coloring compared to the 10-cent note, which is a brown coloring. Now, as we can see here, this is actually the Temple of Heaven in the Forbidden City. This is the serial number, which is in a different location at this time. This is the back. Now it carries the same message as well as the same message in Chinese, and it is a 50 fen. Also, I should note that although it is probably called jiao, it appears that at the back of every note, for especially the lower denominations beyond 1 yuan, before 1 yuan, it will say fen instead of jiao. Well, odd, I would say, but I believe this is a feature so that foreigners who use these notes would have a better understanding of how it works. Now, this is the last note that I have to show you, and it is the high denomination note that I have in my possession. The highest denomination note is actually a 100 yuan note that could buy many things back then, especially in shops that cater to these foreign exchange certificates. You could buy cigarettes, Swiss watches, or Chinese silk at the friendship stores. Now, this is a 1 yuan note. Now, I'm not sure what the scenery is here, but I believe this is also common too as the current 1 renminbi note, which is green in color as well as this note. Serial number is here, and it says yuan. At the back here, it has the same message as every other note. It says 1 yuan. Now, I believe that is it. And to end, I would like to explain further. Now, there was a problem with these notes. The thing is, a lot of these foreigners started to know that, hey, we don't always want to buy from like these fancy stores. So they wanted to do things that were local. So this is what they did, or rather, what the black market dealers did. They usually waited outside official banks or other shady places where they could exchange their foreign exchange certificates for illicit RMB, which could be used in the other stores. So the rate that was most commonly being traded was 130 foreign exchange certificate yuan for 160 RMB, or I believe at this rate of 100 FECs for about 130 RMB, FEC being foreign exchange certificate. Now, of course, this didn't work because immediately many people got their hands onto it, and China started to realize that they couldn't do this forever. They couldn't crack down on this. So they started to allow the yuan to be convertible again into the currency that we know today, which is freely convertible. And what happened to the use of the FECs? Now, they were legal tender until 1994 and could be exchanged until 1994 or later dates, but by now I don't think they're accepted anymore as a mediums of exchange. Today, if you were to spend this at a Chinese store, you would be given the greatest laugh you've ever heard, because these notes, although gold about 4 years ago, are just now pieces or memories of an old economy where there were 2 yuans in circulation. That is all. Thank you. And I hope you have learned something today and enjoyed this video. Good night and goodbye. 没有共产党，就没有新中国。